Well, finally today I would just like to talk about a movement called the RAELIANS, who say they possess technology to clone human beings, and well, there's a lot of speculation regarding the US president about that he looks very much like Akhenaten, an old Egyptian pharaoh, and sensitive information about the scars that are on the back of his head. Now, there's a lot of speculation and information that's being suppressed, of course, by the US president about his past. I've been able to prophesy through the Holy Spirit in the past that a coloured man would come to be president in the United States, and the Holy Spirit gave me more information about this. But I think I can see that he's definitely linked with the son of perdition. That without the US president, basically a lot of laws such as abortion, live birth abortion, and many other different things wouldn't have come to pass without Barack Hussein Obama being involved in pushing these things through and voting vigorously for live birth abortion, which is the killing of innocent children. And what actually happens to these babies when they're murdered, they're made into food products. I can't mention this enough. I can't be shocked by this enough. And basically, are they being used to nourish these fallen new Nephilim race here on this earth today? It's possible, I guess. So the Raelian movement say that they can, well, they had a symbol to start with, which was a six-pointed star, and inside that six-pointed star was a swastika, and they applied to build a temple for their god, who I believe, did it come from the star constellation Raguel, which I believe is in the Orion constellation. Again, a lot of activity around the Orion constellation, and again, but is that where they're from? Is that where their god is from? And if so, why did they apply to build some kind of temple to their god in the land of Israel, which was rejected by the Israeli government after obviously they had the sign of the swastika? But they actually changed that sign to a swirling motion inside the six-pointed star, which is in reference to the many stargates that we actually have seen. One of these clear pictures exposed in the nation of Norway, and I believe 2 or 3 years ago, and the phenomenon of wormholes, which is the Einstein-Rosen gate, which was spoken of by Einstein, saying that it is possible to open up space gates, and that these fallen angels or beings, or they call themselves aliens, come through. The Nazis were very involved in this as well. So that's why they obviously had the Nazi symbol. But this man who started the Raelian movement is a Frenchman, but obviously it's a growing movement today. And how do they worship their god? Well, they have orgies, and basically they worship the sun, moon and stars, which says again in the Torah we should not do, but they do it. And they know that by worshipping the stars, it's also linked to worship of the fallen angels, because many of the fallen angels actually state which star constellation they come from, which I'm not saying it's a lie or anything like that. It is possible that they do come from there, but we know that actually they're kicked out of the third heaven, which is actually heaven itself, and then the second heaven is actually the planets and stars, so they actually must be kicked out from there as well. And what we got left is basically the first heaven, which is the atmosphere above us and this very earth. And it seems that all these fallen angels are now confined to this earth, and there's a reason again for that, because the Lord wants to actually confine them to one area so that he can judge them, and he will do that on his second coming. So again, the Raelian movement, is that linked with the Antichrist or the false prophet in the coming days? Well, we shall see. Thanks for listening, and I'd advise you obviously to do your own research about all these subjects.